Hello and welcome to
Last Figure Standing.
Absolute Quality.
Is that your voice, Tim?
No. Stop.
Come on.
My friend did that for me. It's his voice.
Is it really?
Yeah. Anyway. Welcome everybody to the round one results of Last Figure Standing. So this is where we show you which 6 characters have managed to make it into round 2 out of the 12. You've been voting all week, and we have the results to show you in this live stream. Of course, to follow the usual format, we will be saying hello to my guests, and they're not guests. They run this thing more than I do. So we'll be saying hello to them in a second. Actually, we'll do that now before we say hello to the chat. John, my good friend, how are you, my friend?
Tim, Chris, friends, cheers.
Water.
Hopefully it doesn't make it on my laptop, but I think I've figured that out now.
Yeah. And Chris, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Also drinking water. Some high quality H2O.
Yeah. Can't be beaten. Have you had good weeks apart from well, I know what you've been doing, John. You've been doing all the graphics. So
The art
thanks for that.
The unappreciated art department's been busy.
I appreciate it, man.
I know. I appreciate everything.
Have you had busy weeks apart from that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I literally, this is like, I'm not trying to be like a weekend hero. This is just about the first time I've sat down today. Like starting at before 8 o'clock today, I've been on the run. So if I fall asleep on this live stream, it's not because I'm not excited by the content. I apologize.
Yeah, I was just saying to John before we came on, I went to Echo today, which is great, meeting people, walking around the thing, looking at all the things for sale. But then I did have to drive three and a half hours home, which wasn't great. But, it's all right. That was a couple of hours ago now, so I've had a bit of time to relax and what have you. But it's always good to see you. It's always good to do this on a Saturday night. And let's say hello to the chat. Some of these people I've seen already have been here a while and have been commenting. And there's a couple of names in here that I actually saw earlier today. So who have we got? We've got Dennis Nedry. I'm here for the John Miko Tyler beef. Not sure what beef that is. Dean. Have a great show. I'm not going to be able to make it as it's Steph's 50th tonight, but he'll check it up when he can, which is great. We have Joe Whitney. He's unable to watch it, but he'll catch up. That's awesome. Hello, Bruce Damon. We've got Jared Cantor. Hopefully you'll be able to watch as well. We've got Cisco Deer, Ray Dunkley. We've got Peak Obi-Wan. We've got John Miko. Woo! Hi, John Miko. We've got Anthony Hubley. We've got Tony Z. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. Joachim Arvidsson. We've got Ryan Byrne. Ryan, last time I spoke to you, you didn't collect this stuff, so I'm glad you're here. You're still interested, which is good. Cliff Oliveira. David Stevens. No, I met David today. Yep, it's good to see you as well, buddy. It's good to meet lots of people there. Kurt K, Des T, good to see you as well today, mate. Mark Simon, Stuart Holt. We've got C3PO Concepts, and we have a super chat from Jesse Fleming. Thank you very much, buddy. He says happy Thanksgiving to any fellow Canadians. It was so hard to pick only 6 of these. Here's hoping Luthen makes it through. Here is hoping, mate. I'm with you on that one. I want Luthen to make it through.
And I'm not going to spoil it this week. I'm not going to say anything. In fact, I'm not talking. I'm not talking till all 6 are revealed.
We've got Keith Belavia. We have James Hallihan. I've got to watch out for some dodgy names as well. I completely forgot about that. after last time. Q Mighty, Uncle Dino, Biker Scout. Hi there, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while, actually, Biker. Good to see you here, mate. Feel the Force. What a great finish. What a finish to a great Star Wars day it was. So me and Phil managed to get Bib Fortuna, the guy who played Bib Fortuna, to sign our TVC cards, which was pretty cool. So thanks for donating the cards, Phil. I will pay you back. We've got J Guy Studios. Andre's here. J Dog the Hut. We've got Clone Trooper. We've got the Kiwi Man. Good morning from the future, guys. Marva's Brick has got this. She is being backed by the Masons. Riley Bob. How you doing, buddy? Steve Areno. We've got Rogue Killer. We've got TVC Macken. Chris Rooks. We've already got 164 watching, guys, which is awesome. Totally Taylor Retro Hunters. Krypton to Carlton. 17.2 Nate. Trevor Ritchie. Rolando. Eka. Boomer Fett. Got Reno. Farrell. We've got Bob. Lots of names. We've got to carry on, guys. But it's good to see you all. Scott's here. Brett on Fett is here. Man, everyone is here, which is always good to see. Right then, guys. So in this stream, we are going to be revealing the 6 characters that have made it through to the next round, that everyone has been voting all week for. But before we do that, Chris, you just wanted to quickly talk about, without giving anything away, like you said, you just wanted to quickly talk about the Wolfman. That graphic you wanted me to bring up. So just 2 seconds.
So last week we were talking, at the end, we're going to show how all the names were cleaned up. When we're done with this, we'll publish that spreadsheet. And I just want to clarify a statement I said last week. I said, if it just said Wolfman without the character name, I said I attributed it to Lack Sivrak for the cleanup. And I just realized I had this one exception I forgot to mention last week, and I don't want anybody to say, hey, you said Wolfman went to Lack Sivrak. Obviously, Wolfman from the HasLab. They're talking about Arleil Shoes. So this is the one exception to that, where if it only says Wolfman with no character name, it went to Lack Sivrak, except for this one because it says Wolfman from the HasLab. We know they're talking about Arleil Shoes in that case because Lack Sivrak was not in the HasLab. So I just want to make that one clarification on the statement I made last week.
Yeah, so to be clear for everyone, this is when you're actually picking your characters, the free form.
Yes.
For your original top 10. Yeah, because obviously once they're all in, it's a different kind of voting. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, that's good. Yeah. All right, mate. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And as I said last week, I appreciate all your hard work with all cleaning all of that up. As I also appreciate John Miko's graphics and Data Studio techniques. So thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Right, let's stop sharing that very quickly. Right, so I think we might as well just head on into it, and we'll have a break in between each one and discuss what we think and what have you. You might have some insights that you might want to share about this. So let's just do it. So the first one, what we're going to do is we're going to show you 3 that go through, then 3 that don't go through, and then we're going to be doing ones for the remaining 6. So you ready, guys?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Okay, hopefully I get the right video. Oh my God. Here we go.
Ooh.
Right, let me just see if I can get the graphic of that up to share it, so we can just quickly talk about it.
And just so everyone knows, this is not necessarily the order. It's not necessarily, it's definitely not the order of who got the most votes. We're randomizing, telling you who's in and who's out.
Yes.
And in part of that randomization, John made sure that Luthen went first, so I didn't spoil it this week. Now I'm off the hook. I can relax.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
So, just from my personal characters that made it into the 12, that's two of those weren't on mine. So 2 of those that I, didn't vote for, have got through. Obviously, I voted for Luthen.
I didn't vote for any of these.
I voted for Luthen.
Tim, can you get rid of the comment? It's still
Yes, sorry.
still up there.
Yeah, there you go.
So Asajj, if you remember from if you watched last week, she was right on the cusp. She only made it in by 1 vote, but she powered. So she was technically number 10, but she's in the top 6 now, and it's always interesting when we see this where this voting, these rounds of voting don't necessarily follow the nomination phases going forward.
Yeah. I had a quick look at last year's video live stream to see the crossover figures, and I think is it Anakin, Luthen, and I can't remember, there might have been one other that was in the, I think there's only 3 from last year that are in
Asajj.
I think Asajj, that's right, yeah.
Well,
that's what I wanted to talk. Yeah.
Tim, you said only 3, but keep in mind we only did a top 10 last year, and 7 of them have either been pipelined or revealed. So only 3 could make it to this year's.
That's a good point.
Wasn't it Asajj, Luthen, and Anakin that weren't
right?
Aren't being made.
Yeah, haven't been announced.
Who
knows what the future holds, but thus far unannounced.
Yeah, so I'm actually very pleased that Asajj is, even though I didn't, she wasn't in my top 10 and I didn't vote for her to go through. I'm pleased that she has, because it is definitely one that we need in TVC. So a lot of people are backing her, it seems. As you say, she was just on the cusp of the original votes.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah, I stand corrected. I think Luthen was number 7 for me. So I did not vote for him, but I am happy that he made it. And it's nice to see some the Bad Batch making it through, because I know a lot of people are excited to have those someday.
Okay, so shall we let's stop sharing that then. Let's do 3 that didn't make it.
Kick 3 out.
And this is gonna, let's see if it upsets some people. Might even upset me. You never know. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's do it.
Oh dear!
Oh, C-3PO, he's gone.
No, oh dear!
My top 10 just got destroyed because Obi-Wan and 3PO were in there, and 3PO was very high up on my list.
Oh man, let's just
made to suffer. Sorry.
Let me just see if I can get that graphic on there so we can just talk about it quick. I should have named these better, man. Right. So there we go. Already we're halfway to knowing who's in and who's out.
And
sorry, Chris, go.
I was going to, last week I said I just envisioned that the Bad Batch would march. If you're going to vote for one, you're going to vote for the other two. So I was envisioning the Bad Batch to march together. Whether they'd either all make it or they'd all not make it. So I was surprised to see this, that one in and one out so far, and we have to find out what that means for Wrecker. Which way is he going on this? But I just think it's odd that I don't know why Bad Batch fans didn't vote for all three. You had 6 votes. Come on, vote for all three.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people were predicting when they saw C-3PO in the final 12, they were predicting that he would go all the way, and I was hoping that he would. I mean, and he's out at the first one. Who else went out? Obi-Wan and Tech. Yeah, so yeah, strange about not strange, but what you're saying about the Bad Batch there.
Yeah,
yeah.
And go ahead, John.
I was going to say Crosshairs. I mean, he's just surprising me in general, because what did we say last? I can look it up, but I thought he was like a pretty high number, maybe 40 in the top 100 that we had. I can look it up, but I think Tech was in the 20s last year of overall. So, it's again how you see the elimination rounds moving, right? Where just because they did well overall might not mean they make it, further along in the elimination rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit gutted about C-3PO. Sorry, John. Chris.
So Tech was 25, John, and Crosshair was 40 last year.
That's right. And I think 3PO was like 70.
70, yeah.
Before.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Crosshair had a big come up because of his role in season 3, and there's a little bit of his redemption there.
Yeah,
played a role in him coming up.
Yeah, I agree with that totally.
Brian says, this is the first time I've caught you live. I do not understand what last figure standing is. Will you please explain? John?
Chris.
Oh, I see how it is. Tim's at the top. He passes it to John. John passes it to me. The old expression of what goes downhill. That's what's taking place right here. So last figure standing is a fan poll organized by the 3 principal organizers are the 3 people you see on screen right now. But we do kind of bring in our friends of the community and have influence on it. But it starts off like the old fans choice polls that Hasbro used to do, where it would actually go through the fan sites. They'd say, collect your community top 10 list, pass that on to Hasbro. Hasbro would collate those and then put together, a voting on what would be the fans' choice. So instead of the fan sites doing that, we asked you to submit your top 10 to a Google form that John set up. Then from there, we figure out who are the 12 most popular. Last year we did 10 most popular. This year we did 12 because the voting was so close. And I'm really thinking going forward we do 12. I think this is the right number. Going forward we do 12. So we let you vote on 12. You can pick 6 from the 12, and then the top 6 vote getters from this round go on to the next round, where everybody will get to pick 3. You get to pick half of what's in there. So you pick 3, and we're going to take the top 4 of that, go to the next round. You pick 2, and the top 2 advance. That's the finals, and then you vote again, and you get to the last figure standing. So it's a series. At this point, you start with nominations, get to the top 12, and then you do a series of elimination rounds. And the reason why we're doing this, again, is in response to the fans' choice poll, where you'd have 5 or 6 figures all being voted on at the same time, and the winner would always have, maybe if they did really well, they'd have 30% of the vote, and that was declared the fans' choice. In my position, and I think our position in general, is how can that be the fans' choice when 70% of the people wanted something else? So rather than letting the winner be declared with 30% of the vote, or even lower, we're doing this. So by the time we get to that last round, we know of the let's get down to one of them is going to get more than 50% of the vote. And I say that, and I probably jinx it. Will probably be an exact tie this year for some reason.
Yeah.
But chances are one of them is going to get more than 50% of the vote, and that's the whole intent of this. Again, think of it like American Idol or another, talent show where you slowly eliminate till you get to a winner.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this has got nothing to do with Hasbro. It's a fan-led thing. Yeah. It's just the data, if they want it, gets offered to Hasbro. So not just the winner. If one of the Hasbro team happen to be watching this and they see who wins it on social media or whether, so that's a little bit of insight that particular character has managed to win it. But essentially, straight away we've offered 12 characters that have risen to the top from everybody voting originally. But we offer the John in the middle here does an amazing job with the data studio, basically, and how he presents the data with all of these different ways that you can chop the data and look at it from different medias and different types, aliens, all this amazing stuff. And that is then given to Hasbro, and they can do whatever they want with it. They might not do anything with it. They might just add it as a little bit towards their own market research that they do all the time anyway, because they're a pretty big company. So they probably, I would imagine that they do that, right? So
yeah, and I'll just say this, right? There was I think 1,601 responses. So, we got a really good amount of representation there on this first round. And it kind of tracks with last year, having around, a couple more hundred responses than we had submission. So hopefully, people stay engaged, even though, maybe some of their or all of their picks did not make it through. And we just want people to have fun with this, and let's not take it too seriously.
Exactly. It's supposed to be fun as well. Yeah. It's supposed, if we didn't have these things running and, you doing your stuff in your Facebook group, Chris doing his website, then, it would be, other people in the community as well, of course. But, if nobody did anything, it'd be a pretty boring community, wouldn't it? So it's all good fun. It's all good fun.
Yeah.
Right.
A couple great comments. If you can go up to James Hallahan at 520, I'm just going to point out a couple of them. But he noted, interesting. Yeah, all three so far are characters that at times straddle the void between hero and villain. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. Luthen shredded his decency, right? Yeah. That was part of his speech, some form of that. As Chris said, Crosshair was following orders, being a good soldier, and then he redeemed himself, right? And then, Asajj, same thing. So
I'm not assuming. I'm just. I think. Right. Let's get on with it. Let's find out who is through next, and we're going to be doing ones now. And we've been talking for a little while now that I've actually forgotten which video I'm on. So we've done 2 right. So this is the 3rd, yeah?
Correct.
Whew. Okay. Here we go. Let's find out the next character to go through to the next round. Rika. There you go, guys. There's your. So let me just try and get the graphic up. That's 2 of the 3 Bad Batch are into the next round.
We really should get Mr. Adderwell there, Mr. Kiwi Man on, just to do some of his natural born accent there for these guys.
Yeah, he's more than welcome to join us one one time for sure.
He complimented me on some of my my accent, and I said thank you. I learned it by watching you.
There we go. I've got the right one. So there we go. Whoa.
No, pressure. I'm sorry, man. This is tough. Yes, there he is from the future.
So there we go. We've got Wrecker from the Bad Batch, Crosshair from the Bad Batch through. We've got Luthen through, and we've got Asajj through. So nice mix already. 5 yet to find out their fate. But we can move straight on if you like and get rid of another one.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Who's going?
No, you were the chosen one.
Annie.
Supposed to bring balance to the force.
This year is going terribly for me, just absolutely terribly. All my votes are getting bounced out.
Annie.
Yeah. Let me just get the screen up.
So, do you care if do you guys care if we share a little bit of the seeding information? Since this one,
go for it.
That's the number 2 seed, folks. That got the second most votes, Anakin Skywalker, and he's bounced out in the first round. Here's what's wild: last year, Luke Skywalker, number 2 seed, like father, like son. He was bounced out in the first round. So we have a definite last figure standing 2 seed curse going on right now. They cannot make it out of the first round.
Well said.
And he's had a lot of support on other platforms like social media. There was that whole I can't remember the hashtag that was being used. You know, he was the one. You know, a lot of people were supporting him. So I've got to admit, I am quite surprised.
I think like last year, you know, where Balin was didn't make it even to the finals, and he was the number 1 seed. I think there's a lot of, when you get into this part of the voting, it's coming anyway thoughts. You know, of course they're going to do it eventually. You know,
I agree with that.
So I think people should try to vote for the stuff they think needs the push at this point.
Yeah, and we are getting the Clone Wars one, so you are getting a bit of a bit of Anakin, even if it's not the Revenge of the Sith one. You're getting an Anakin, so maybe that's what sways it
a bit.
I'm disappointed in all of Revenge characters getting voted out. Us prequel kids are getting tired of our Star Wars not being represented.
I was just reading that one, and I mean the results. This top 12 speaks for that, though. I mean,
yeah,
Obi-Wan, Anakin, that's they're in the top 12 overall. So,
yeah, that's what you've got to remember. They made it to the top 12.
Yeah.
Out of how many individual characters were mentioned? If you can remind me again.
So over 800 got at least 2. Over 800 got at least 2 votes.
800 characters.
Over 800. I think it was actually close to 900. Got at least 2 votes.
Yeah.
Once again, I have to go to a different computer for that.
And I know, just while you're doing that, Chris, 254 characters got at least 10 votes.
10 votes. Yeah.
And those will be in the dashboard that we build out for this year's. We're kind of drawing a line in the sand to say, let's show everything that had 10 votes or more. Because we have to go through and add all those other attributes to these records. So, we don't want to sit there and go through whatever 1,600, 1,700 characters and say if they're tertiary or they're a primary, secondary, tertiary. We're like, all right, Chris made a good decision and said, hey, let's go through these 254 and provide some good data on them.
So from a personal point of view, with Anakin going out there, he was one of mine. So C-3PO and Anakin are out, but Luthen's through at this moment in time. The other ones have not affected me. But, I didn't, I haven't lost someone, and I didn't vote for the one that got through either. So, yeah, C-3PO hurts still. But what can you do? Have you found what you're looking for, Chris?
No, I won't be able to get to it. It'll be a boring stream if I keep looking. But it was definitely over 800.
And one thing I'll add to the prequels comment there, like this year's prequel representation in voting crushes last year's. So
yeah,
people came out and people are showing their support for the prequels, and it's really showing this year. So
if your character is bounced out, keep in mind Hasbro's making more than one character. Any figure in the top 30 has already won. This exactly. This is this part of it is all the fun part, the engaging part, the data that's on offer. As they do what they like with it, but it's a good indication of what the community's been voting, haven't they? So there you go. I'm just looking at some other comments here of some people.
829 got at least 2 votes. 829 different characters.
Charlie says, glad to hear that people are finally admitting that we need more prequel content in TVC.
I take exception to finally. I think we've been beating that drum for...
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. I think I've been talking about it since... I remember when we got the one Revenge of the Sith figure in TVC 2.0, that, repainted clone. And ever since then, it's been a noticeable thing. And I've always said, like, I like all the prequels, but specifically Revenge of the Sith, I think for me, that's the one that I would like more from. But yeah, absolutely. And, I've talked about this before, like TVC 1.0, like when you look at the numbers, TVC 1.0 had something like, so you got 115 individual carded figures, right? I think, if I can remember rightly, something like 45 of them or something were original trilogy. And then a small amount less, I think, were only very small, though, were prequel trilogy. And then you had a few expanded universes here and there and a couple of Clone Wars, right? TVC 2.0 is coming. When TVC 2.0, the very first wave of TVC 2.0 has got sequel trilogy figures in it because that's what they've got to support, right? Solo comes out, they've got to support that. All these new media things they've got to support. And unfortunately, the thing that it has taken the place of is the prequel trilogy. That's what's happened, basically. If you look at it, we've got roughly the same amount of original trilogy figures, even though there's been more figures in TVC 2.0 now. Roughly about the same original trilogy.
Okay, can I throw one caveat on that, Tim?
Yeah.
Most, very little of those original trilogy characters 100% newly tooled.
Yeah, of course.
Very little. A lot of repacks, a lot of partial tools.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
when you look at it,
frustrating repacks like Leia Endor.
Yeah. When you look at, but then if you look at, say, The Mandalorian, for example, I think there's over 40, it might even be nearly 50 just for The Mandalorian, and then you've got the Book of Boba Fett as well. So that just tells you, what's happening. So I've always been an advocate for more prequel trilogy. I want more prequel trilogy. But unfortunately, obviously, with no budgets and things like that, something has to give, doesn't it? So...
And I'll just say, what you say, tip 2 is on Bad Skull, we went through and did the make the mains for each of the first 6 movies, and then I went through and ranked them. This is before Luke, Han, and Ben. I said the most important make the mains is A New Hope. That was the most lacking one. Number 2 is Revenge of the Sith. And I said that going back well over a year, that Revenge of the Sith is, as far as main characters, is the most in most dire need of attention.
I'd give up Mandalorians for more prequel figures. I think it is clear that we have had a lot of, and not just characters from the Mandalorian, but actual Mandalorian characters. Do you know what I mean?
We have more figures from the Mandalorian and TVC 2.0 than we had for Empire Strikes Back in the Kenner line. That's pretty amazing to me.
Yeah.
And Tim, I just fact checked you on one of my older dashboards. I had 46 prequel figures. Good work there. Remembering that off the top of your head.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You know what you're talking about. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. But no, I think that is quite interesting, because obviously, when TVC 1.0 was around, there was no other, they had the Clone Wars maybe to sort of throw a few in or whatever. And I think, what was there? 3 Clone Wars? Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. I think that was it.
So, and kind of, if it was under the Expanded Universe banner, it would have been Clone Wars 2D. Captain Fordo, the ARC Trooper Commander. That was Captain Fordo, but that was Clone Wars 2D.
Yeah. But in terms of the Clone Wars logo, 3, right?
Yeah. John, who made that?
Jendi Tartarovsky. Tartarovsky.
Right, now we've just addressed that. All 3 of us want prequel characters. Don't worry about that, my friend. Right, let's run another one, right? So video 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have a 6, then it's 5.
Just go right to 7. Come on, just get it.
So they
kill the suspense. Go right to 7.
This is finding out who's out now. So Record just got in. We're finding out who's going out.
No, we just had Anakin go out.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah. So we're finding out who's going in now, right?
Yes.
Sorry, mate. I'm lost. Here we go. Who's in?
You go.
There you go. The only Acolyte character that's made it. He's gone through. Bad guy with a red lightsaber.
Yep. 2 red lightsabers.
Here's the comments. Look, so for the first 3 comments, no, not him. Recency bias. Boo. I think Lorena likes that one. Bingo, great pick. People are happy. David Stevens says someone's trolling us. What are you laughing at?
Someone trolling us. I was laughing at that.
Mr. Zippy. Right, let me just get the graphics up for that round. Boom, got it first time. Okay. Share. There we go.
Yeah, and I will say this, if I can speak to the overall submissions results, Jackie was the next Acolyte figure. She was 66.
66, wow.
Yeah. And
that actually does surprise me because
right,
we're getting Indara, the other one's Pipeline, so she's kind of the missing good guy, isn't she? Apart from maybe Kelnaka as well, maybe.
And he was the next
in the hundreds.
Yeah, I think that's it too.
And then there was Vanestra Rowe.
Oh, right. Yep. Right.
She was so Kanaka was 103, Vanestra was 229. I can't wait to share this data. It's gonna be fun.
Something tells me that Daniel Chart doesn't want the stranger.
Shocker.
The stranger is probably the only Acolyte character people want.
Oh, Power Runners happy. Look at that.
Okay, Scott's not happy with that one.
Should we? I'm just going to point out something that's going to make people really unhappy. Look at the 3 characters left, and only one of them is going to make it. That's going to really make people unhappy.
What's that, Chris?
Look at the 3 characters left. I think three pretty, very in-demand characters. Only one of them is going to make it. 2 of those 3 are getting bumped out.
Yeah, and all 3 of those were on mine.
Tim, can you highlight Jeffrey Horner's comment from 1041 your time, right above Daniel Chart's?
I will do. I just want to say thanks to JD. C3PO would outsell him 10-1. Interesting. I wouldn't be able to. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. I wouldn't be able to. Chris, have you got an opinion on that?
Well, I was going to say very small sample size, but I will definitely buy more than that would be my ratio of buying 3PO to the stranger. I'd buy 10 3POs to 1 stranger. So
yeah, that's a good point. I would as well, purely because of what I need for my loose. Yeah,
it's a whole desire versus demand mentality, right? So
1041. Which name? Sorry, John.
Jeffrey Horner. It says, at the end of the day, my favorite saying that Chris loves me saying.
Hey, it is what it is, John.
I'm sorry.
That's my phrase. That's the one I can't not say.
It's right above Daniel Chart.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, at the end of the day, I have not purchased a figure in the history of my collecting based on the subject matter. I may not be excited if my wants are not met, but I still buy them all. I'm in that boat. I'm in there. Yeah. So that's a good point.
I used to be, not anymore.
There are the window.
Oh, sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
I was just asking Chris. He just said he's not like that anymore. So, if there's something that you just, the fact that it's just the fact that it's TVC is not enough now for you.
No, and I mentioned this several times. It was the Finn repack. When that came out, I'm like, I'm not buying that. That figure well overserved the demand the first time. It was available for about $5 on the secondary market. There was no need to repack that figure. If you're going to do Finn, you can't repack a Finn. You need to do episode 9 Finn. So I just think they're abusing the TVC card and the compulsion of a lot of TVC collectors to have all the numbered ones. So I said, you know what, I'm not buying that figure. Once I was free of the shackles of being a completist, now I can pick and choose. So I'm not simply buying everything anymore.
I will say I haven't bought that one or the Cassian that they did the photo reel on. And I haven't bought the Ahsoka pack with the droids.
Never buy.
I do plan at some point, but it was one of those things like I'm not supporting that right now.
No, I passed on that. And just to show you how important, where Hasbro cannot, abuse the TVC, people, collectors like this. Because I did not get that Finn, I passed on the Ahsoka set. So it's not just one sale they lost. They then lost the Ahsoka. Because now that I'm free to pick and choose by breaking up my numbered collection because they pushed me too far, I can now pass on other things. I'll buy that Ahsoka set eventually. It's not, I don't, everybody knows me. I do not encourage waiting for clearance on things unless it's something you don't really want. I don't really want that. I don't want that. Was it $80 or is it $70? $70, I think.
Not sure.
I don't want that $70 strong, so I'll wait till it invariably goes on, Prime Day someday, and I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think though, when it comes to new figures, I will buy every one of them. So
yeah, I didn't love the Acolyte. I didn't hate it as strong as some people did. I was just it's actually very much in the pocket for what most of the Disney media has been for me so far. All right, it was all right. But I was really looking forward to the Saul figure because this figure's going to be amazing. I can't wait to get him in all these cool Jedi poses. But that figure really disappointed me.
too rubbery.
Yeah, way too rubbery.
I've got him here, right? And I just wanted, because I talked about, whether you could use these figures for prequel Jedi and whatever. And I looked at him, right? And then I was on Instagram and I saw a picture of Revenge of the Sith Anakin. I think it might have been a hot toy or something. And I looked at his outfit, and Anakin does have one of these quite wide belts, and I looked at the tunic and how it comes down on the neck, and it's very, the two bits at the front, it's very, very similar. Just putting it out there. So in terms of they could use these for other, prequel Jedi. Some of them, not all. Right. Let's find out who is out. This one's going to sting either way. 6.
Oh no, Chris, don't leave.
I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. It's rigged. It's rigged. I didn't get what I wanted. It's rigged.
I'll tell you what. I'll get the graphics up in a minute, but
that's my personal number one want. By the way,
just keep talking because I need to get this up before I want to, before I say what I want to say. So,
yeah, that was my number one most wanted figure.
Well, and I think, Chris, right, what you were saying before, right, things we think we might be getting, right, the Mandalorian Grogu movie showed a bunch of snowtroopers, showed an AT-AT.
When you said that, think we might be getting, when you said a Grogu, I thought you were making a joke about Grogu. Because I agree.
Snowtrooper Grogu.
No, but Grogu, Snowtrooper with a Grogu and everything. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if you go to 1027 for a tour, they make you take 10 Grogus on the way out the door.
So this one's a bittersweet for me because Baze he's still there. He's still there. But Snowtrooper, gutted, man. Because So
none of my top 12 have made it through yet. I'm sorry, my top 10 have made it through yet. That made it into the overall.
Yeah. Yep, same here.
Unlucky.
So
where the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. I wonder what people think. Who do people think? Baze or Arleil? Who's going through?
Tony Z, gutted. Thank God for the Mando film because we'll most probably get the Snowies. Hope so, mate. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that, buddy. But yeah.
Yeah, I would love to hear in the chat which of the final two, who's making it through. Maybe we should do a poll on this one, Tim.
Yeah, okay. I have to do that via YouTube.
If that's okay. Question for Tim. Would you prefer Baze or Arleil? No brainer for me. Hashtag Daniel Char.
I'll answer that in a second. Let me just do what I'm doing here.
You broke Tim, John. You give him too much to do at once. English Pete can't handle all this pressure.
English Pete, come on.
2 seconds.
Blaze, yes, definitely Blaze. Blaze up.
Blaze it up.
He gets more popular every year.
Right, here we go.
All right.
Oh, I can't vote.
I'm seeing a pretty good mix. I'm seeing a pretty good mix. Yeah, I'm not voting.
You better not. You know who you know which one's in.
Oh, I could vote for what I want.
Yeah, true.
That's
Right, here we go. Here goes the poll.
Mitchell Gum. What's up, Mitchell Gum?
Victoria's here too.
Yeah, Victoria. That's right.
I saw her scroll by earlier.
She said maybe it's 1.5 lightsabers for
Yeah.
Premiere. Maybe it's
third.
1/3.
If you don't see the poll, then you're on a device that doesn't allow polls.
Yeah,
So
I think
maybe
one of
like
you-
a TV or something doesn't allow it. So
Yeah, you might want to go to your phone and go to YouTube on your phone to see it.
So Shoosh is at 62%. Did we ask him who they think's going through or who they want to go through?
Think who they think's
Who they
going.
think's gonna go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, it could translate to both.
Both are in my top 25. You hadn't launched it yet, is why I couldn't see it. Okay. My Windows 96 doesn't show the poll. Nice one, Mackenzie. I like that.
Uh-oh, can it be actually, guy? There was no Windows 96.
That's a good point. There wasn't. So it's 62%. Oh, it's down to 61% now. You got a couple more. Got another minute to vote.
Oh yeah, Windows 98 second edition. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. ME, not good.
So just from a sorry, Chris, go on.
No, we're just goofing around while you're playing with your while you're playing with your poll.
61%. We'll end that. We'll end that.
The operating system, the Windows operating system, for a while when every other one stunk.
Yeah.
So you asked me which. I'm gonna hurt your guys' feelings now because, honest to God, I would want Baze Malbus. Because
Why?
Because don't get me wrong, I really do want Arleil because obviously we've seen what it's going to look like, and I'm getting in the cantina, and it's one of my favorite scenes, and I've got so much other stuff to go through it with it. But that's kind of the point as well. I do have a lot of stuff, and it will already be quite full. I don't have a Baze Malbus to go with my, and I love Rogue One. I love Rogue One. And I've been banging on about Baze for years now, and I've only been talking about Arleil since he was revealed.
And I think there's two sides to that, right? There's designed sculpting there. Maybe that means it's more doable in the future. There's no designs other than a Black Series sculpt, which, let's be honest, if they probably did a Baze at some point, it would be foolish for them not to leverage that. But there's already a 3 3/4 inch Arleil Shoots design there.
I'm laughing at Victoria's comment here.
Ooh. I think she's got you there. You know?
New before redo.
5 POA Baze is terrible.
We do have Wolfman though. Well, we have Wolfman, but we don't have the Bat Demon.
Right.
Yeah, 5 POA boo.
Right, we've got 300 people watching, and we're nearly on the hour mark. I think this might end up being a slightly shorter stream this time because we're gonna reveal it now, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So let me just stop sharing that for a second. So I take it you two, you're back in the shoosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had both of these in my top 10 submission. Did you guys? I know, Tim, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I had the Snow Trooper as well.
Chris?
Snow Trooper's gone. C-3PO's gone.
Chris did not have Baze
No.
in his top 10. Tim and I. Hey now. Tim and I did.
Something just fell over outside my door. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Hope the cat didn't get crushed.
I think that's a little boss. He's upset about the Snow Trooper. He's coming charging in. He's taking the whole stream down.
I'm a little bit worried about my cat. Anyway. Right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's find out.
Let's go. Baze, you're my boy.
Gutted. And the chat were 61%.
Yeah.
61% correct. So let me just get the graphic up for the final. The ones that have gone through, and we can have a little chat about it.
I went 1 for 10.
Me
Making
too.
it to round 2.
So there you go, then, guys. That is the next round that we will be voting on. So when the vote commences, which I'm sure Chris will probably do now, I think you pick up to 3. So last time you picked up to 6. Now you can pick up to 3. And 3,
4.
and
4
4 will go through. 4 will go through because then you pick 2 just to make it even each round. So I'm just looking there. I had Luthen on my list, and I had Arleil on my list. The other 4 I did not. And if I was to pick the one of the 4 that I didn't personally choose as my, the one that I like the most, it would be Asajj. Even though I like the Bad Batch, I do.
I want to make a comment. There's some people saying, well, he failed to back, and why is he making it through? Don't forget, Hasbro also stated, if you do want this figure, let us know. If there's a figure you want, let us know. Well, people are letting them know they want that figure. So, a want is a want. Let's not, put it to any more than that. He didn't fail in the HasLab. Didn't make it to that tier. I don't know if Chris, you want to make any comments on that?
No, just saying that Arleil failed to back, because that doesn't make sense, because it's not like you could back Arleil by himself. The Cantina failed to get to 17,000. It would have, if it had 24 more hours to go, it would have, once Nabrin Leeds backed. In fact, he probably could have got there in about another hour if you looked at the rate it was backing at the end there on that last day. So that has nothing to do with Arleil. It has to do with the Cantina. Not everybody that wants this figure is going to want us, has the room or the desire to have that Cantina. But we have a lot of the characters from that opening shot.
Yep.
In fact, if you want to use was it Trinto Duaba? If you want to reuse him, you could say Arleil would complete that scene. I believe, yes.
And folks saying this hurts a HasLab if you release this figure in the future. That I think you're thinking of it the wrong way there. That's the whole thought of, well, if you re-release the barge that already backed and was produced, you're hurting the HasLab. So again, this is a fan poll.
Yeah.
Let's not take this too seriously.
I think the re-releasing the Tonikas, you could make that argument.
Right.
But it only hurts it if people thought they thought the one they had in hand was exclusive to the HasLab, then it becomes available in mainline or another way. You ready to break protocol, Tim?
Yep.
Show us the responses, Tim.
Yeah, so we are going to show you the voting. So there's none of this, it's massaging the results or whatever, But just be warned, when you see them, that could potentially influence the next round. But tough, that is what you guys want. You want to see it, you're going to see it. And so if you feel whoever's getting the most votes, then get out there, campaign, and tell everyone not to vote for him if you don't want him to go through. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
In fact, we'll have a word about that when we show the results.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do this right. Window. This one. Is that done? No. That's all my things. I don't want that at all. I need I think it's this. Is that right?
Yep. So if you scroll back up real quick, we're in the form that got the 1,601 responses. We're in the responses tab. Scroll down, it will show you the results, and you can see there all of the data that we literally regurgitated to pull out the top 6. So
some stuff here to note. Again, Asajj was technically the 10th place in the nomination phase, got the second most votes. So if we had done seeding, that would have been an upset, but we don't do that. Another thing about this, and I talked to John about it, is there was definitely at some point some campaigning, and that's a good thing. People get out the vote for the figures that they want. Last year, once we got to 1,000 votes, we could almost call it. At that point, once 1,000 votes were in, there'd be a little moving back and forth here and there, but pretty much whoever had the lead after 1,000 votes was in. This year was completely different. After 1,000 votes, the Snow Trooper was the number 2 seed. He had the second most votes after 1,000 votes. C-3PO was in after 1,000 votes, and I was actually thinking, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see all the crying when C-3PO, Snow Trooper, and Arleil was the wire to wire on this. But I was saying the crying on this is going to be great. And then for the next 500 votes, it all came in on the Bad Batch and the Stranger, Chimera. That's where everything, and obviously Asajj. So very unusual voting pattern this year. But I think it just speaks to people, campaigning for what they want. That's what, in this round, get people.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, get people to vote.
Thank you, Paul, for the super chat there. Appreciate your your comment there. We do try.
So
One thing because I've got to be honest with you two guys. Like, I know we've got our group chat and everything, and I don't tend to look at what's going on with the responses. I don't. I like to be kind of surprised when it's like near the end. And what I would say about this is that it's damn close, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
so I can
Like 46%, 47%, 47%, 48%, 47%, 48%. I mean, of course, Arleil is at 59%. At the moment, he was the clear, he had 946 votes. And then, as you mentioned, Assange had 850%. The one that's really out of there that didn't really get too much backing is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
right.
But all of the rest of them, it's close, really close.
Look at the difference between the Snowtrooper and Luthen. It's 2 votes.
Yeah,
2 votes decided.
Crosshair 775, Stranger 773, Wrecker 767, Luthen 765, Snowtrooper 763,
2 votes. Snowtrooper missed by 2 votes.
and then Tech 756. So
close. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. As I said, you can get the other slide back up now. Is everyone okay? That they've seen this? And we'll do it for next time as well. We'll give you the things. I personally don't like doing this because I feel that it's, when people don't know, it doesn't influence anything good or bad. But for transparency purposes, there it is. So let me just stop sharing that again, and then we'll quickly share the final 6. So this is who you're voting on, people. You've got to pick 3 and 4 go through.
Yep. Yeah, let me
Great to see you, Si. Yes, yesterday and today, mate. Top night last night. Yeah, great. Always good to see you, mate. Thanks for tuning in.
give me a minute. I will post this to Instagram.
Can pick 1 or 2. You can pick up to 3. That's what you got to do. You pick up to 3, but you don't have to. Right. You don't have to play along at all. You don't have to pick any if you don't want to. But it is supposed to be fun, so try and join in.
You can't complain if you don't vote.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you who I'm going to vote for right now. I will tell you. I will be voting, and this is not to influence anyone. You can do whatever you like with your own vote. I'm going to be voting for Luthen because he was on my original list. Arleil because he was on my original list, and Assange, who wasn't on my original list, but I want Assange. So there you go. So they're my 3 that I'm going to be picking. And some people are saying who they are going to be picking in the chat, which is great.
Oh wow.
Arleil, Quimir, and Luthen. We've got Crosshair, Quimir, and Wrecker. Wrecker, Stranger, Arleil. Still waiting for support for Boba Fett in underpants figure. I had Tech in place of Wrecker, but that's almost exactly my top 6. Nice. That's good for you, buddy. Stranger, Crosshair, Assange. Thank you, Marco. Appreciate the super chat again. You left one last week as well. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate the support. He says, hello, guys. This is 50% animated and 50% live action characters voted in the last 6. Which ones do you preferred, animated or live action, to be made? Though Hasbro would do animated as live action figures. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that realistic interpretations of animated figures. Yeah, appreciate that, buddy.
So to answer his questions, I think he's asking, would you prefer live action or animated? And animated, personally for me, is pretty far down. Like my preferences for figures would go the movies first, then live action.
I highlighted that because it's funny because the other 3 figures I do want as well. That's the thing. That's the great thing about it. But I have to vote 3, and 2 of them were already on my thing. So sorry, Chris, you're saying it's that your ordering of what your preference?
Yeah, live action movies first, live action Disney Plus series second. Then probably for me it would be video games. I'd like to see more gaming greats. And then honestly, it's probably publishing then animated figures for me. I'm not a huge. I've watched them all, but other than the end of season 7 of the Clone Wars, a few moments in Rebels, there's nothing that I'd probably go back and rewatch out of animation that much for me personally.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I would go back and watch more of. There was a lot of good stuff in the Clone Wars. There's just too many almost unwatchable episodes for me on the way to the good stuff, which is why I don't really go back and watch it.
Yeah, Disney Plus is quite good at like suggesting like themes, isn't it? And like arcs.
Yeah.
Like here's the, so sometimes I get caught up in that. So I'm with you. Like for me, it's always like live action, like anything that's got real people in it first and foremost. What comes fairly near the bottom for me is publishing, because it's, I know with comics and stuff you can see a draw, but if it's like a book and you've kind of got to imagine what that character looks like, I'm not really interested in something like that. But video games, got to admit, aren't really that high up on my list either. But we often get kind of cool troopers and stuff from those, so they're pretty cool.
Yeah. I should say, when I said animation was lower, the new animation droids, I would take every droids figure they gave me, but I'm probably alone on that aisle. No, actually, some people did nominate some droids characters.
So we've got Luthen and Arleil. How about you, John? What's your sort of ordering that you just in general?
I'm not totally sure yet, but I will say like 2 for me, I would be at the top of my list, would be Luthen and Arleil. And I did mention I was a big fan of Crosshair in the Bad Batch, so I liked his whole redemption arc. So I don't know.
No, yeah.
I will buy all of them.
Yeah, sorry, I meant from.
Oh, sorry.
What? Yeah, publishing. Like, where does it sort of sit for you? Like,
sorry, the art and social department has been busy uploading everything. The link is up on last.figure standings Instagram page. Chris, I'm sure you're probably publishing to. Are you publishing with Anthony Skull right now?
I'm going to get the link.
It's already up. Yeah.
While you're talking and giving us your I'm going to get the link. I'm going to get the link and put it in the chat.
I'm with you guys. I'm sorry, I was kind of half listening, but I'm a big fan of just things that make it to live action first. That's kind of my preference. Obviously OT, PT, The Mandalorian. I was a big fan of Andor, Rogue One, and then I just look at my collection. So I look at my biggest dioramas and pieces in my collection, and that's where I start wanting things. And I just want, not to go on a tangent, but I want us to get a lot more offerings than we're getting offered in a year, and I want everyone to get what they want as long as it's something that's viable for the line.
That's a good point, John. I said what my sources are, but truth be told, it really comes out to, what scenes do I have near complete that might need one figure. So Sauvage Press has always been in my top 25 because, we have so much stuff from that arc. We now have Pre-Vizsla. We've got the Mall. We've got so many that we got the two factions, the Loyalists and the Death Watch. So we need a Sauvage Press just to complete that group.
Yeah, and I'm sure getting Count Dooku and those figures.
Sorry, where was Savage on the list? Sorry, I might have missed that while I was doing the link.
No, I was just saying he's on my top 25.
Ah, right. But
from
your memory, did he do all right in the?
I could tell you in a second.
Oh yeah, it'd be quicker for John.
Hold on one sec.
Sarge, Ventress, Wrecker, and Crosshair. So there's, just judging by what people are putting in the chat here, there's a lot of diversity in what people are voting for. Luthen Stranger, and Arleil.
Savage was 29 overall this year.
That's respectable.
That's right.
But animated is canon. The Star Wars universe turned CGI when the Matrix glitched, then switched back a couple of times.
All right, let's post this.
I need my I voted sticker.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's think about that for next year.
So going forward, you guys have got to, obviously everyone that's in the chat have hopefully probably voted already, but everybody else that's maybe going to catch up with this later and find the link in other ways, they have until Thursday again, is it?
No, this goes back to Wednesday night.
Right.
Yeah, because we delayed it, the stream last week. So this will be Wednesday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. And then we'll be live streaming again a week today to tell you the results of that round. Interesting stuff. Okay. So any other topics you guys want to cover before we wrap up?
The only one I thought about. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, go.
Okay, I did send a link for a TVC updated dashboard I made that showed the current 2024 breakdown for TVC, and I didn't know if you had that link handy. If we wanted to speak to that for a few minutes.
Where did you send me the link?
In our chat.
Instagram.
Yes.
Let's see if I can.
If you want me to send it again to you, either personally or let me know. I have it pretty handy.
Well, while you're doing that, what I was just going to say is I know there's some people that were new to this stream from the previous stream. Stick with us through the end. Even if your characters get dropped off for the live streams, because of the finals, we announce going to a deep dive of all the votes, and John will present his dashboard and show all the ways you can drill down into that data. Because I know a lot of people are saying, can I see what the votes were? You can. We just wait till the end for that because we don't want the nomination phase to prejudice this round of voting. So we will present all that. It's just going to be at the end.
I just texted you it, Tim, as well.
I've got it, mate. I've got it.
Oh,
it's your dashboard, yeah.
Yeah, it's the TVC breakdown analysis dashboard.
Yeah.
So
let me just share the screen. Hang on.
So yeah, I yet again took away more time from my lovely family, which they greatly appreciate, and looked at this year. And just did what I've done for the last couple of years. So right now, this is filtered on 2024. So I don't know. This is just a good thing to go through, right, and see where the state of the line kind of stands for this year, right? So again, this might be a little off. I'm not going to say it's like 100% accurate. I think it's pretty close. There were some carry forwards this year, which I haven't made like a field for to maybe pull them out of this, right? Because I think there was some carry forwards like Ahsoka, Corvus, and Thrawn from Rebels. But this is showing you a little breakdown here, right? It's giving you the blue bar chart at the top left there is your new tooling for the year. There were 12. You had 32 partial tools and 14 existing, which means, you know, they leveraged it or they either carried it forward or they reissued it or it's some form of repaint, right? So it just, again, then I'm showing you this little fancy donut chart here that shows you the breakdown, right? That means there was 21% new, 55% partial, and 24% existing. And then it just goes by media grouping, right? So we can see here the breakdown by media and then the breakdown by title card. So there's so many different ways to look at this. We can look at it like if you click on the bar chart for new, Tim, the 12 new figures, you just click on that blue bar chart. I'm not sure why it's graying out my bars. I might have to fix that. But you can see here, right, that the Acolyte and the OT got 3 figures each. Rebels got 2. Ahsoka got 2. PT got 1. Mando got 1, right? And then if you scroll, go ahead.
John, just to clarify, that OT includes 88, which was not articulated, and Salacious Crumb, which is a minifigure, right?
Correct. I mean,
oh my God, you've included Salacious Crumb. Wow.
So OT only got 1 fully articulated new figure this year.
Yeah, and when you look at it, right, I mean, and if you scroll down, Tim, you can see the figures. So if you scroll down a bit, you can actually see the list. So you can see them broken down by title card, the figure, how I classified them. He is an accessory, Q Mighty. You're right. Yeah. So I guess it's just trying to show, like, look, this is what transpired this year. Let's understand what's happening, right? Because I think Chris and we talked about this. A lot of it seems to focus from a new tooling perspective on Disney media. And then the rest of it kind of dribbles in, right? Because you have Mando, Ahsoka, Rebels, that's 5. And then the Acolyte, another 3, that's 8 from Disney media, right? And then the PT got Dooku, and the OT again got Leia, and then 8D8 and Salacious, which were behind a $80 job with his days.
Yeah. And this speaks to what I was saying earlier about, just looking at the new tooling tab here with, filtering by new, all new. The PT's only got 1, the Dooku. But it's not as if, like, say, for example, the original trilogy has got 6 or 7. It's not that's affecting that. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's the fact that we have so much media to cover now that it's just literally impossible for them to do everything that everybody wants across all of the different, animation, whatever it might be that you're into. It's impossible.
And if it's to John's point, if it's not new Disney stuff, if that's not your thing, if the new Disney stuff isn't your thing, we're all fighting for the scraps. People that are interested in other stuff, we're fighting for the scraps at the table because most of the new 100% newly tooled figures go to new Disney properties.
Yeah, and Tim, if you click off of the blue bar chart, just click on it again. All right, if you scroll up to the top, why don't we just filter out year? So if you go to the top of where it says year selection, there should be a little filter. You can hit the X on the filter, or you can just hit that and hit apply. Yep, that's fine. So again, I do have to go back and do like, other years, which I'll probably bug you guys way too much about. So then you can see this breakdown, right? That new tooling is a very small part of the DNA, the line, right? And that's kind of always been, right, what how they operate. I will say I think 2.0 has been a lot less of a percentage than 1.0.
Yeah. This is what we should be fighting for, is more of this, regardless of how it's made up.
Yeah, and we forget, right? Like Piat, Piat was an OT all new tool, and now it's being made for unfortunately Dedra, Thrawn, Gal Kestis, and Imperial. Like they're leveraging this stuff for other things, and some of it they definitely shouldn't. But in here, we can even then again click on new tooling at the top, click on the bar for new tooling, and see how it's broken down, right? And if you click, if you kind of click off the, there you go. We can see there, right, that it's been a lot of Disney focus. It's been Mando, Ahsoka. Then, then there's PT, OT. Even if you click on PT, we can see what it was, right? So if you click on PT, we can scroll down, we can see, there we go. And I know we put Kenobi kind of in that PT lineage. I don't know if that is the best thing to do, but regardless, even if you take that out, right, it's very underrepresented. Same with OT, and then same with, you can say it with a lot of things. I mean, Mando has been very, very well represented.
Yeah.
So, I guess I wanted to bring this up, right, and just show, there's been a lot of comments lately about people not getting what they want, and why are they focusing on this and not this? Well, it's like I think Hasbro, at the very least, the Star Wars team is trying to they're trying to spread the love, right? Now they're doing a small OTB. And what do we know what we have for new tooling next year? Can we take a guess? Do we know? I mean, I would assume Luke is all new.
They confirmed.
Nothing to leverage there.
Han and Ben are all new. They said that.
All new. So it's three figures.
Yeah.
So we got to keep in mind that there may be a mini beat of OT next year. It's not taking away from the entire resources for new tool.
MoMA too. MoMA new Nadon.
Oh, right.
4.
Yep. I haven't put any of 25 in here yet, obviously, but
yeah, it's definitely interesting stuff for sure. As I say, we just need them to give us more of this, don't we? And then it'll make more people happy.
I guess the question becomes now, how do we get more, right? We're supporting HasLabs. We're supporting the line. How do we get more? So that's my question. Any thoughts on that?
I've been seeing a lot of complaints about a lack of support for the Ghost HasLab. Based on this data between Ahsoka Rebels, a significant amount of figures have gone to support the Ahsoka boxed Ghost. Yeah. But this is the problem. They sort of blur the lines with, and they kind of give, and also they deliver half and half, don't they? So Ezra is from Ahsoka, but Zeb and actually, I'm trying to think of the main line. Actually, most of it was Ahsoka, wasn't it? But Zeb is Rebels, and we got Thrawn from Rebels as well, didn't we?
Kanan.
Kanan, yeah.
Kanan from Rebels as well. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of. In that wave, we got Kanan from Rebels, but we got Ezra from Ahsoka.
But
and that's where it kind of.
And the Ezra's from Ahsoka because of the hologram in Ahsoka, which is presumably from Ezra in Rebels. Right?
Yeah, you're right, an old hologram.
Yeah, it's an old hologram. So that hologram was meant to represent Ezra in Rebels, but it's showed up in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just right. Looking at the data, right? We can all agree that there needs to be more new, 100% new tooling. How do we get there? We are supporting things, but I think we should also be careful to stop. Sorry about my dog, but we should be careful to stop saying what, or shutting down what other people want, and just focus on the things we want and the things that we think would be good for the line.
The second part's very important, John. Good for the line. Advocating for very niche and specific personal wants, like it is in huge demand, has caused many a peg warmer in the history of the line.
Do you think more is what's best for the line? Well, I think more new is.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. I think you've got to be a bit careful with the, how many things that are out there, because you do get a lot of comments like, all my pre-orders just came at the same time, and yes, that sort of thing. And when you look at how many, I don't know, one year we got like 65 or something. Now for some people that'd be like, yeah, brilliant, but other people are like 65, it's got, it's more than a figure a week or whatever. But what we're saying is, out of let's just say they do 50 figures a year, we want a bigger percentage of those to be new tooling. So whether that's a figure a character that they're revisiting that they have done before that desperately needs updating, like Luke Skywalker, for example, you want that to be all new. Or if it's a character that's from Andor, for example, Luthen, then obviously that will probably have to be all new. And the problem that we've had in the past is where you've got what could have been a really, really good figure like Andor in his Aldani mission outfit ended up being a pretty poor figure because he's got completely the wrong boots because they wanted a cost save on that particular figure. And if they'd got it right, that one, then they could have just done the heads for the other guys in his little gang for that Aldani mission. But really, when you look at that one now, you're like, well, I personally don't really want them to do those unless they get them right. So,
yeah, that's a great point. I mean, we've been asking for more accurate partial tooling, more accurate of that sense, right? So when they're taking some figures and kit bashing them and adding some partial tooling, we want those to be more accurate too. So,
yeah.
So this is out there. I try to share this stuff from time to time. Usually if you're out on this is Tableau Public. That's the software I pretty much base my whole career on. Are these the best dashboards? No, I think they're just trying to get a quick point across, but you can go up to my name, click on my name, and you can see some of the other dashboards out there. There's the last figure standing dashboard from last year. Soon enough will be the dashboard for this year. There's also one we did on, your collecting habits. And there's been one we also did, I'm trying to remember. Well, there's a couple others out there, but anyways, some good insights to help keep people informed.
Chris, do you just quickly want to answer that one? Because I know we've covered it before, but for the purposes of the people that haven't heard what, because it is something that we obviously would love to do. because we would know I'd love to know what the community want in terms of, ranking ships or play sets or whatever. But you can explain, Chris, why it's a bit more difficult.
It's a challenge. We could do figures because it's understood that I'm saying I want this figure. I'm willing to pay right now $17 or potentially $25 if it's deluxe. That part of the equation is baked in. So, when people vote for Luthen, they're saying, I want Luthen, and I know it's going to be $17. We don't have that with vehicles, and people's expectations are all over the map on what a vehicle might represent.
Mine does have red stitching, just not as much. Sorry.
What did you just show? I missed it.
The red.
Someone said that I need to get a chair like you two guy.
Oh,
Steve Arena. Sorry, Chris. Carry on.
So with vehicles, we need to know what price point you're envisioning. I could, like my most wanted vehicle is Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, TIE Advanced X1, and I'd be willing to pay $125 for that if it came with the flight stand, like the Mandalorian's N1, and a pack invader where they have the upper tabards flat black instead of gloss black, maybe type of thing. So that's what I want. Somebody else might want a Darth Vader's TIE Fighter as their number one, but they think, no way I'm paying more than $60 for it. So those are two wildly different things. So when I think we do need to get to a vehicle poll at some point, but a expected price range also has to fit in there somewhere. Again, look at the U-wing that we have. Some people are going to be happy with that, and then other people want a HasLab quality U-wing. That's the problem you have with vehicles. And if Hasbro could either overshoot or undershoot the runway, and it's disastrous, whichever way they go, if it's going to affect the market. Ultimately, what we're hoping to do here is get some insight into the market. If they produce a vehicle and it's too much of a toy, too many compromises, people are going to back away. If they go too far and it becomes too expensive, they're going to back away. And the one I always bring up is the Rancor. Black Series fans want a Rancor. They just don't want a $300 Rancor or $350 Rancor. They would have been happy with a dumbed down version that was more affordable. So that's the challenge with vehicles. It's not just I want this vehicle. It's I want this vehicle, and this is my max I will pay for it. It has to be part of any polling for the data to be actionable on Hasbro's part. Yeah.
And you haven't just wasted anyone's time with that answer, because it's a good answer and it does need to be talked about. But Falcon's Tech was actually talking about your dashboard, John, that he wants vehicles like, I mean, there won't be as much data because we don't really get much of that, do we? But
yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah.
If he wants to ping me and help me collect that data, sure.
Yeah. Well, we had one creature in TVC 1.0, so when you talk about creatures, it ain't going to take you long, is it?
Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, Chris, because I would love to do something like like Last Figure Standing or whatever for vehicles, because I've run little polls on my channel before where I've picked 5 vehicles which I think would be pretty cool and ask people to vote, rank them or whatever. But I'm sure there's loads of vehicles that I wouldn't even think about that I would like to know what other people would want. But as you say, it is difficult, because you just bring up the U-wing there. That is not, that is a toy. It's not vintage collection. And if they ever did a U-wing, for me, it would have to be a HasLab, because it'd have to be bigger in scale. It would have to be able to have figures in the compartment, the
gunner,
a bit like the gunship does, that you can actually get figures in that section. I think the toy one, you can only get one figure in the cockpit and things like that. So it's just not, So you're right. It would be difficult, but some people were like, no, I'm quite happy with that on my shelf with some figures around it.
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
Can you bring up Toys Are the Way's comment from, I think it'd be 11:39 your time.
This one?
Yep. And this is this. There's two things with this. One, it gets to the point. There's no consistent pricing with the vehicles, so that's why we can't say, yeah, I want this. I know right off the top of my head it's $100. That's not right. The Mando's N1 was $132. The E-Wing's 100. Merrick's X-Wing was at 105. I can't remember. And then you have the ATST. These are all what we would have one time would have called the mid-sized vehicles, but the price points are all over the place. That's why we have to bake that in. And the other thing I would say about the E-Wing, this is 1,000,000% uninformed. I have no inside information on this, but just in my gut tells me that the licensor might have done something to incentivize that because it's going to Disney parks. So I wouldn't be surprised if part of the reason it's $100 is because maybe Disney let up a little bit on the licensing cost of that, so they could have it produced for Disney parks. That's just a hunch of mine. Again, not informed.
Yeah, it's a good argument, definitely. Yeah, it could potentially that's possible, isn't it? Yeah. Looking forward to getting that though.
Oh wow! People are showing the clone, the Bad Batch 4-pack of clones with Rex are at Ross for $15.99.
Wow!
$15.99.
Yeah, and that was a second run, right? Because that first run through Amazon sold out.
It did.
And then they made another batch of the Bad Batch.
It's probably a replay of the Jabba's action set that Walmart had.
Yeah,
where they sold out online. It was kind of classic old brick and mortar thing. And they sold out online, which probably met 75% of the market.
that one, right? Yep.
No. The what were they called? I think they called it the action set. The one with Han Solo and Carbonite Reeves, the trophy wall. That one. Yes. Walmart sold out of that online instantly. Instead of realizing that was probably most of the market, they ordered 10 times more. Wow! Look how many we sold. We can sell 1 million of these.
Yeah, that was one too. I think the same thing happened with that one too, right?
Yeah, same.
Had a second.
I guess with that pack though, that there's not a lot of newness in that pack.
The skinny legs. We don't have any Rosses around here, and I'm bitter.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's more of a mid. Actually, I just think it's nowhere in the Northeast and then everywhere else.
No, there's one in upstate New York, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember when it first got announced, it did cause a lot of buzz because you're all of a sudden getting a card back with a new film logo that you haven't had before. Rex is in there, and you're thinking maybe this is a prelude to, the Bad Batch coming, I guess, but still waiting.
That caused a buzz too because it was announced, went up for sale, and sold out in the same day. It was announced that morning, so there was a lot of people that obviously can't check the internet during their workday that found out about it after it was well too late to do anything about it.
Jabba Adventure set. Yeah, that was the name. Thanks.
Right then, folks. Just want to say once again, thank you for your time, not only on this stream, but your time that you do put into, creating the online forums, John, creating all the graphics, your dashboard things, just amazing. And,
Thanks.
the fact that it's out there for anyone to just click about on and, you know, get any info that they want out of that. I think it's amazing. So thank you for that. Thank you everybody in the chat for joining us once again today. Really appreciate it. We've had good numbers once again, as we always do. I hope you are happy with the final 6. Some of you will be, some of you won't. Maybe you'll be happy with half of it. I don't know. But yeah, get voting. I'm sure you'll all have already, and share it out there on all various social medias and stuff like that to, you know, get more people, more of the community involved. Because I always do feel like when we get like, say, 1,600 people, that's a good sample size, isn't it? But when we look at how many people, like, for example, are in your Facebook group, John, and how many subscribers I've got, I know it's over a period of a long time and a lot of people have dropped out and whatever. But I do feel that more people can get involved, man. They should. Because if they're collecting this stuff, then, you know, it's a good way to at least have some kind of say, I guess. However small that might be.
That is frustrating. Yeah. We'll always have people too afterwards that are like, "Oh, I missed this."
Yeah, of course. Yeah. People got busy lives, understand that.
Yeah, you know, I think people forget, right, that like not everybody is attached to their social media accounts and, you know, that sort of thing. And algorithms have funky things that they do if you're not attached. So.
Well, you're on one of my big talking points all the time, John, that I think as a community, we think the vocal part of the community is the community. No, it's a very small piece of the community. And just because 100 people, you know, online want a figure does not mean it's market viable if the other large silent majority don't want it either.
Yeah, I have a couple burner accounts for Facebook to make sure people don't admin block us and do all that sort of stuff. And when I go to our group, it goes back in time to try to update me, right? So it's a very funky algorithm that it does for people who don't frequent things as often. But anyways, I wish people participated more. I know there's people who like refuse to participate in these types of things, and that's fine. But yeah, is what it is. Mitchell. No giveaway for you. You lost it.
Yeah, if you start getting on, you know, some like, you know, marketing emails from random companies, you know what's happened.
From some random like banthaskull.com, like just
for some
junk.
Some pills in the intimate department that you may or may not need.
Exactly.
You might
guys.
Some pills to grow your hair because it's working.
I'll wear a cap. That's less we talk about that, the better. Right. All right, folks. Thank you, you two. I really appreciate it. You know, you guys know in the chat where to find these people. John Miko, admin of the Facebook group that you should be a member of if you're on Facebook, and Chris and Bantha Skull, the best TVC website, apart from John's, because John's is also awesome as well.
Oh, thank you.
You know where to find me. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Really appreciate it. And we shall see you this same time next week. So 10 o'clock UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern time next week. All right.
Thanks,
That's
Tim.
it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.